Hello everyone. I have put this video together to just walk you through Blackboard and also some of my expectations for this course. So we'll just start right here. This is an announcement. It's going to be going out on the 30th, and it should go both to your email and also to your Blackboard announcement page. Which you can always access by clicking on the announcement email page, and you see that it brings you right here. On the first night of class, so I've actually gone through and step by step put all the expectations there, and I do this in the weekly modules. So if you click on week one, let me just pull this up a little bit. This is all of the expectations for week one. I just cut and pasted that here because I'm going to go through it with you and I wanted you to be able to see both things. So one, you're already watching the video, so that's a great first step. So we've got that. And then step two is getting to know Blackboard. So one of the things that they have you do here at Touro is sign the academic integrity statement. So you just need to click through the statement and then take the true-false survey question. So that's the second thing. The third thing is just to know where to find the syllabus. So I've actually attached it right here, and then I will also have a PDF version that you can click on, and if there's any sort of changes or anything, then I will update Blackboard along with letting you know any changes in class. Most of the time I let the changes be known on the very last page of the PowerPoint. So the next thing is to learn about me. So one of the things that I do as an instructor is I do give my email out and my cell phone, my personal cell phone. And the idea there is that I want you to be able to get a hold of me if you have any questions. And what I consider a question is if you've been trying to figure something out for more than 5 minutes, then that might indicate that you just need somebody to kind of push you to the next level. So that's when you would call, text, or email. And my contact information is right there. I also went through, and if you're just kind of curious, I'm new to Touro, so if you're curious about who I am and what I've done, I have a little bio here that just talks about some of my areas. I did a Fulbright fellowship in South Africa, if you're interested to learn about that. I taught in special education classrooms for over 14 years. I also worked in pre-K classrooms, and I have also I have multiple publications and conference proceedings and keynotes and whatnot on inclusive practices, culturally responsive practices, global education. A lot of my work is really focused on equity and social justice for all learners. The next thing I want you to notice is that I actually put the textbook here. This is the textbook that's required. And then I gave an Amazon link, the publisher, Pearson link, and then also Touro's online bookstore. So when you click on these links, you can see that it opens up. This is the 7th edition. That's the edition we'll be using. And they have the ebooks, they've got the hardback, and then they have other sellers. So you can, go around and see which one works for you. And as I mentioned before, you can also buy it directly from the publisher. And the neat thing about publishers nowadays is they actually have, you can buy the product or you can buy or rent the e-text. So that'll change the price if you're concerned about price. And then Touro Bookstore is right here. So if you need anything, then that's all available to you as well. So just going down this list, the next piece is the weekly module. And as I mentioned, the way I organize my courses is by weeks. So for week one, you'll click on the week one tab. And once again, I showed you the tasks that we're going through. So first get to know Blackboard, then download the PowerPoint for the class. And here's the PowerPoint right here. So if you just click on that, you'll see that it downloads into your computer and you can lift it up. So You can have that for class. I always give that ahead of class. And then we'll go through class. And then after class, you have got to complete the reading. So now I'll refer to this part right here. So what have I done on Blackboard? I actually uploaded the reading for you for the first chapter in case you had ordered the book and then it wasn't quite there. So I got permission from the publisher to share the first chapter with you so that you could at least get week one's reading done. The second piece is this is your homework. So complete the reading, complete the activity. This is the site inclusivity practice assessment. So once again, you'll click on this. Now this is when it has this symbol right here, that means that it is an assignment. So I'm going to click on the assignment. It tells you when it's due. Actually, I'm going to pull this over a little bit more so you can see the submit sign. So you will go through and you can attach this survey right here. So what I've done is this is a survey that somebody else has put together. Just so you know, because you're not part of a team, you don't have to do this team part. But I do want to know what kind of school it is, your school site, and the date. And then it has all these statements. And on the right side, it has you rate each of the following in relation to the need for assistance. So, for example, the school is is the one these students would attend if they didn't have a disability. If that's a need of the school, then you might want to mark that one. And then on this side is how well they're implementing that. So excellent, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, not at all. One thing I'd like to see you do as well is make little notes in the margins if you ask somebody from the school these questions, and then if they mention anything. So for example, special educators and general ed educators meet at least once a month for collaborative student level planning for students who are included. This is if it's a need, this is what level they are actually doing that, and then say that the teacher tells you, well, we're supposed to meet, but we don't actually meet. Then you would write a note in the margin of this test, just mentioning that that's what the teacher's response was. So then, like I said, you'll PDF that or you'll scan it, and then you can browse your computer. And here's just, here we go. So this is actually the inclusive assessment. So I would save that with my name, and then I would open it, and that would allow me to upload this document as a student. And then if you had any questions or comments or thoughts that you wanted me to know, then you would write it there, and then you would hit submit, and that's how you would turn in that assignment. I'm going to go back to weekly modules, week 1. And we'll just keep scrolling down. So that's for the site inclusive practice assessment. So that's your assignment. The other assignment that you have is your discussion. And for the discussion, you're going to use your textbook. I'm sorry, I didn't. I will erase the chapter 2, but it's just chapter 1 that you need to read. You're going to use the class discussion, so the PowerPoint and what we talk about in class, and then your own experience to answer all of the following questions. So let's just go through the questions real quick. What's your responsibility in serving students with disabilities in your classroom? Include information about the specially designed instruction, related services, supplementary aids and services, providing assessment and progress monitoring, data, and collaboration. And this is with parents, special education teachers, and students. When you answer that question, I want you to actually, give me the information that's in the book and cite it. And then I also want you to include anything that we talked about in class that addresses these pieces. And then I also want you to say, how much you see that's actually happening or not happening at your school site or in schools that you've either attended or been a part of. And then you'll do that for each one of these questions. So what are the core principles of IDEA? Describe one court case, civil legislation, or general education legislation that's affected special education. So for this one, you are actually going to need to read your colleagues' responses because I want you to all pick a different one. So if somebody is the first one to respond to the discussion question, then they will maybe have picked one of the court cases. Let me just see if I can find a court case really quickly. La la. And so this is what the book looks like if you get the online version. And I think it's probably page 7, we'll just say. So here you have the list of all of the different court cases. So maybe you pick Larry P. versus Wilson Riles, and then you explain that and how it affected the special education. And then the next person can't pick that same one. They've got to pick a new one. Next is, what is response to intervention and how have you seen it implemented? How will you as an educator, I should say, maintain high expectations and accountability for all students in your classroom? How is the school you're associated with inclusive? How many categories are there in ADA? And then I want you once again to only pick one. And then you can't pick the same one as your colleague. And then what technologies do you use? And there's actually on page 28 they talk about different technologies. And then there's a cultural competence self-assessment on page 30th. I want you to take that and then tell me what you noticed. And then every week I ask you for some feedback. So now that we've gone over the syllabus in class, do you have any concerns about this course? And then that way we can start addressing some of the concerns you might have. For example, I'm not sure how I'm going to find time to go and do teacher observations. And then I will work with you and your principal if need be, or your boss or whomever to make sure that you're able to get the support so you can finish all of the assignments in the class. So next is the teacher observation protocol. So as I mentioned before, and you also have to comment on at least 2 peers' discussion responses. So you'll read their responses and then you'll just give them feedback on what they wrote. Each person should be slightly different, so at least on a few of the questions. So I'm excited to read what you've actually written, and then also the way that you are interacting with your peers. And then you need to set up your classroom observation dates. So you're going to go in and do an observation of a veteran teacher, and you're also going to do a PSYOP observation. So I've actually put together this protocol that you're just going to give me, good things that you saw and areas where you think that the teacher might need some more help or some support. And you can even talk to them as you put together this protocol. And then the second protocol is the PSYOP protocol. So once again, you would click on this. And I want you to go into a veteran teacher's classroom again. So a veteran teacher is somebody who has both general education and special education students and at least 3 years of teaching, and is identified as somebody who is at least proficient by your administrator. So then here is the PSYOP protocol, and you just, for content, objectives clearly defined, displayed, and reviewed with students, and then you say from highly evident to not evident, and you mark that for the teacher, and you also will write notes. So this is just a 2-pager, but this one gives you some more things to look at, and we'll be learning about the PSYOP strategies as well in class. So that'll take us through the first week. Like I said, it's only chapter 1 that you will need to be reading, so I do need to update this part here. But I think that you mostly have things. And then as we go along in the class, you can see that there's 3 assignments. So one is the integrity statement, another one is the site level inclusive practices assessment, and then the discussion page as well. And those are the ones that are due. The other 2 are ones that you're going to be working on. The observations are what you'll be working on this semester. So good luck. Thank you for listening.